Ah, yes. Ah, wicked. Hello. Ah, rock and roll. Ah, welcome. Yes. Okay. Fantastic. Right. So we did. We won't waste too much time with introductions or anything. Let's get rocking. Right. So last episode, we pretty much made all the basic things that we need for the actual game to work. Now, because this is a sort of card drafting thing. We want to make sure that when you good start, Pete. We want to make sure that when you do a battle, there's going to be like a reward screen. And I was going to start a little bit earlier today. Obviously, this is a bit of a late night stream. I normally ideally start at around 12 each day, and we're coming like 9:45 and stuff. But I ran into a bit of a problem, right? Because I was thinking, oh yeah, reward screen. What's the reward screen going to look like? You know what? Let me have a quick play of Slay the Spire. All I want to do is just see how they do the reward screen. And then I just played Slay the Spire. I was like, oh no, I'm not learning anything here. I'm just playing Slay the Spire. But I did pay attention. So, what is the reward screen going to look like? So we are going to go to our victory. At the moment, as glamorous and as wonderful and as lovely as this scene looks, we're going to make some improvements to it. So we're going to start with a basic reward screen because, like I say, it's one thing which I've always said is when it comes to programming, it's kind of easier to make a sort of rubbish version of what you want and then improve it than try and make it perfect straight off. So our sort of goals for today are going to be we want to have a victory screen where you can gain an amount of gold and add a card to your deck if you want, but you can choose to skip it. And then it will bring you back to... it'll bring you back to this screen, which... still needs a lot of work to it, but we're not going to work on this today. But this is a really, really basic idea of where we're actually looking to go with our game. Like, there's going to be a battle, and then there's going to be some sort of reward or something, then another battle, and it's going to sort of scale up. So this is kind of almost going to be your home base. And while you're in here as well, you can also click this just to have a check of your deck. So you can actually see roughly where you're going with everything. So we're going to have, like I say, reward screen, going to then lead it back to here. Oh, fantastic. Right. Okay. So victory. This is going to be the victory scene. As I say, it almost needs no improvement already. I think this is just so good. But let's go make it a little bit better. Why not? Right. I want a black background. I think it just looks a lot clearer. So I think it's quite funny because I intentionally wanted it to be off, so as to really remind me, to bring it home, that I desperately need to actually make this look good, make it look better. So I think what will happen, let me have a good think. So and I want it to be something that you can cycle through quickly, kind of like Slay the Spire. It'll be funny if years from now I say something like, oh no, this game I've never even heard of Slay the Spire, and then there will just be this long montage of the number of times I've referenced Slay the Spire. So I think here I still kind of want the word victory, so I think we've got to think of exactly the cycle as to what's going to happen. So I want, first of all, let's go change this text to something slightly better. Much better. Right. So, and what we'll do as well, I'm going to create an empty, and we're going to call it Victory Master. We don't necessarily need to do this, but I'm going to put Geo just to indicate that it's a game object. Resources, prefabs. It's going to be a core one. and we're just going to put a bunch of stuff, important scripts and stuff on this, which is going to essentially deal with everything that's going on. So, right, okay, let's rock. Sorry, I definitely see the funny side of it, but you know when you're trying to do sort of some experiments, thinking, oh, how am I gonna like, what should I do when I'm trying to make a victory screen? Let me just play a bit of Slay the Spire, and then just ignore the fact that you're doing any programming and just play Slay the Spire. And that's how good a game it is. That's why, like, as I say, that's why I'm trying to make a game where it's obviously not the same, but it's just going to be inspired by it. Okay, so scripts. We are going to have a whole new folder, which we're going to call Victory Scripts. Victory Scripts. Boom. Okay. And we'll create a C# script. Victory Master script. Okay. Good. I always like it when that happens. Right. I've got myself a sort of big chilled coffee that will hopefully keep me going for a while. Oh, right. Let's rock. So, we're going to attach this bad boy to it. And what we're also going to do is, where we've got new text, I'm going to just have something like victory text game object. I don't even... Well, we'll probably put some code into it. We're going to put some basic code. But let's have a look. Prefabs. Create folder. This is going to be a whole bunch of prefabs just for victory. There we go. And we got victory text go. Victory. Okay. Right. So what's going to happen in this? So I think first of all... I kind of want this to sort of slam down and maybe even make the camera shake. So let's go get a let's go. I can't remember. I know I've got a. It might even be in core. I've got a camera shaking script. Cam screen shake script. Brilliant. It's a little bit of a tongue twister. So let's attach this on here, and then we'll work out how to actually... I can't remember how to use it, but one thing that's always quite nice is going back to like old code and just knowing that you just made a function that does the thing that you want. So we've got this one attached here. We've got a victory text, which at the moment we don't actually need because we're going to create it. And what we should do as well is where we've got our victory scripts, we are going to create another script. We'll call it victory text script. I'm sure that won't cause us problems later down the line. I've still got scripts open from before. Let me close all but this. And another big important thing, I need to put my two important scripts that keep everything working, which are the Aaron script and the mover script. We'll have 100 should be enough. Let's go. Okay. Right. So we are now on here. We have this script open already. Let's edit the script. Okay. So, private game object, victory text game object, void awake, and I think this is going to be a bit of a big daddy script, so we're going to make it a singleton. So, public static victory master script instance equals this. but we need a few more things. So victory text go equals. Now we're just going to get hold of this victory text thing that we got. Resources dot load game object. And let's go find this reference. And while we're finding this reference, we're also going to attach the correct script on as well. So let's see. Right, victory, this bad boy here. Let me lower all this. Victory scripts, victory text script. And what's actually going to be on here, I haven't really worked out yet, but probably all the obvious things. So we're going to have private transform text trans. Let's just call it victory trans. That's going to confuse things otherwise. Private text mesh. Victory TM and private mesh renderer victory MR. Sweet. Okay, void awake, and then we're just getting all the references to it, making sure victory trans equals get component transform victory TM equals get component text mesh and victory MR equals get component mesh renderer. So basically we're just getting making sure that whatever we need to do with this, we've got access to all the things. So the transform is the thing that can move it about, the text is what is physically the text on the screen, and the mesh renderer controls very much the color and the order in layer in which it is, which will be relevant later. And we're also going to, while we're here, victory mesh renderer dot sorting layer name equals front. So we're setting this to front. That basically means that whatever is going on in the screen, this is going to be in front of everything. And victory mr dot sorting order equals. Now I'm going to put 10 here. The higher the number is, the more priority. So everything else is on the sorting layer of front. Is then categorized into a sorting order. So if it's say 20 or whatever, that means it's going to be in front of this. But if it's 5, then this is going to be in front of that. But that's, we'll that makes sense. Right. What we also want to do is have we're going to have a public. We're going to make a function here, public transform get trans return victory trans. Okay, so what's all this going to do? Even though this script here has access to our victory trans, nothing else does. So a lot of the manipulation that we're going to do to try and make it look good, big and flashy and everything is actually going to be done in this victory master script. So if we have get trans there, we can find this script, use this so we can get hold of the transform, and then do a bunch of stuff in here. And I'm going to do the same for the text mesh as well. I have a feeling we might need that. Public text mesh, and we call it get TM, and we're going to return victory TM. Let's go. Okay, fantastic. Right, so okay, now where were we? Right, we are going to with the victory text. At the moment we're getting a making a game object equal to this victory text thing equal to this whole object here, and for us to be able to actually get access to it, although there's multiple ways, I think the most professional, the best way, is if we actually have the game object somewhere here in the resources folder, which is a little bit confusing. I know I said this like several streams ago, but when in Unity you have to have a folder that's specifically called resources with a capital R spelled exactly like this, in order for this particular function to work. So, like, and this, yeah, I was sort of banging my head up against the wall because it just confused me so much. Like, why make it this complicated? But that's okay. So if we just copy path, and we just paste it in here, we get rid of this bit which says prefab, and we get rid of all of this over here. So now this particular variable, this game object, is now going to be like this. It's going to be that victory text thing. Okay, fantastic. So what we're going to have as well, private void start. Okay, and we are going to have what should we call it? We'll have a public void victory begin victory. Yeah, just begin victory is fine. Right, so where is he going with all of this? Don't worry, it'll all make sense. Private I enumerator victory routine. Okay. And in the start, we want to begin victory. So begin victory. I always like to have a Boolean public bool that's busy. I've just decided every single one of my scripts can have a public bool that's busy. It just indicates to other scripts whether this script is going to be like, yeah, you know, whether it's actually busy doing something. Let me put a semicolon in there. Okay, now we're going to start this coroutine, which is victory routine. And what are all the things that we're going to do in here? So first of all, busy equals true. Busy equals false. Spelled incorrectly, false. Okay, and then at the moment we're getting an error message. If we just simply put yield return null, that's going to get rid of that. Right, now we got the fun bit where we're going to use comments to work out everything that we're going to have. So it's better to actually just write everything down. So create victory text, slam the text down, shake the camera, and then we're then going to have animation for, or yeah, have animation for collecting gold. Yeah, I'll actually have routine for collecting gold. And all of this will take a little while. You know, it's like we'll see how far we can get through this victory screen, but there's quite a lot of work that we need to do here. But we're just going to go through it step by step, see where we get to. So have a routine for collecting gold, and yeah, a random amount of gold. Obviously, as you actually progress further in the game. I would like the rewards generally to be improved, you know, as you fight more and more difficult enemies, because obviously the enemies are going to get progressively more difficult, and I want you to get rewards which reflect that. Then bring up card selection, which will be pick one of three or skip. And what we'll also need to do is create a continue button. I might have to steal an asset from another game to make this continue button, but let's have a look. Right. Okay, so start as you mean to go on. Right. So what's going to happen? We're going to have we're going to create the victory text. So victory text script. Victory text script equals instantiate. We're going to go create this victory text go dot get component victory text script. So we've done two things here. What we've done is we have we've created this victory text go game object, and we've also created a variable which is this victory text script, which is also incidentally called victory text script, which is basically saying this here, we're getting the component from this object that we've made, which is this. So now this script here can access everything that we need here. So good start. Okay. And I kind of like the idea that we sort of bounce it on. So like I've got a bit of a function which is int chum equals mover dot instance dot oh, actually before I forget that, we're going to quickly go victory text script dot get trans, and actually transform. So we're also creating another variable, a transform variable on the fly, which is getting hold of the transform for this victory text. All right. It will just save us having to write. We just need to write that instead of doing all of this each time. So what we're going to do as well is we kind of want it to start as like just really small and sort of bounce and get bigger. So it's going to go boom, and then the screen's going to shake. It's going to look brilliant. It might not look brilliant, but I'm excited to give it a shot. Right. Victory text. So victory trans dot local scale equals vector 3.0. All right. So it's going to start as nothing, and then we're going to have mover dot instance dot boink to size. So you'll see what boink to size does, but it's basically where it's going from 0 and it's going to grow to a certain size, but when it boinks it actually slightly gets a little bit bigger, so it just gives it that sort of slightly more juicy feeling where it kind of goes boing as it kind of comes on. So we're going to boink to size. And what are we actually? So these are all the arguments that we need to put in, which is quite difficult to see. But so we need the transform, which is the victory trans. We need to get the target vec. So what size do we want to make it? And I think vector 3.1 should be completely fine. How long is it going to take? Let's go 1.0. Let's make it a whole second. and then when we actually look at it, we'll be like, nope, it needs to be shorter than that. But let's have a look. And the size amplification, I'm actually going to try and go 2.0f. So that means, like, because it's going to actually go twice as so what do these two numbers here mean? So the 2.0 means that we're actually going to grow it to twice the size, and then it's going to shrink down. So that actually, you know what, more, I think 1.5 probably would look a little bit better. Okay. We also, so that's it growing. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. And I'm just going to put that there. So that means that the first 0.25 is getting it big, and then it's going to shrink down, which I think should be good. And no. Yeah, let's give that a shot. And then we want... Now, I was going to have it move on, but let's see what it looks like if it just creates right from the middle and just goes bam. I want that. I want to give that a shot. So what we also want to do is the moment that it's got the biggest, right? So it's effectively going to take 0.25 seconds to get as big as size 1.5, and then the remaining 0.75 seconds to shrink down to the correct size it's supposed to be. So I want to do something quite clever. We're going to have a float time equals 0 while time is less than, in fact, let's just time equals 0 while time is less than 0.25f. Time plus equals time dot delta time yield return null. Okay, so this little bit of function here, we've created a variable which is a float, which we're equaling to 0, and then we're just going to wait 0.25 of a second, and then we're going to have can't remember what I called it. At this point, we're going to see. I did put it cam screen shake script. Okay. Shake screen. I can't remember what's a big number now. Let's try 0.5f. Okay. Okay. So I've just typed a bunch of stuff, but don't worry, I'll explain everything. So this is a camera screen shake script. Let's go to the definition. Right. So I've got a whole script here. The idea is you attach it to a camera, and then with this function here, right, if you say shake screen, it will shake, but like it shakes in quite a smart way, in that like if you give it a big number, it will sort of shake, but then it will shake less and less until it gets to 0, and it will just tick down. So I actually, the more I look at it, I think 0.5 is actually a good number to have there. Okay, so the idea is the text, it's going to go bam, get big, the screen's going to shake, and then it's going to fade back there, right? And then I kind of want, so it's going to go victory, and then it will drop off at the bottom and probably fade away at the same time. And I do want it to fade away, which will mean that we'll actually need access. No, it's okay, we don't need it. We've got it already. Don't worry, already sorted it. So now, we're just waiting for it to get smaller over here. So I've done a function which is boinking it to size. So as soon as it gets big, we're waiting that much to get big, and then we're just waiting for it to go back to a normal size, and then I think we can actually have... So sometimes I actually like to have quite a bit of information in one line, because essentially all of this line here is basically just saying wait quarter of a second. There's probably a smoother way of doing that, but I prefer using it this way. Okay, so now we're going to have chum equals mover.instance.move. Oh yeah, I did actually have evolve. That's a bit of a complicated one. Let me... Yeah, move to point overshoot, and we're going to have victory trans. What vector? It's new vector 3. It's going to be 0.0f, and I think minus 5.0f. How long is it going to take? 1.0f, that's 1 second. And that I think we can have as 0.5. Okay. And all while this is happening as well, we're also going to fade the text, so the alpha, so that it just becomes transparent. So it's going to kind of like come in, slam, and then move down and fade out at the same time. So mover.instance.fade TM to color. We can just have victory text script dot get TM. Color is going to be color.clear, and that will also take 0.5 seconds. So it's going to move down and fade out at the same time. Okay, and then we're going to have this line of code, which we're just going to put underneath there. Let me just let me move all this green text to the bit which is relevant. It's going to wait for that. We then want to destroy victory text script dot game object. And what I kind of want is having a debug.log. So we're just basically, I like to have a bit of text here, just saying this is the thing that's happening. Like we're at this point in the actual code. So I'm just going to go hail. Right, so we know once we've seen the animation, seen it all go, it has reached there, and then we're kind of happy with it. So even though this is quite basic, let's have a little look. Be prepared to be underwhelmed. Let's just see. Let's see how this goes. All right, just sit back, relax. Got my coffee. Beautiful. Let me have another look. Sorry, I was not paying attention at all. Yeah, you know what? Oh yeah, of course it works. Let me just try one quick thing. Okay. So by pausing it, I can just go forward 1 frame at a time. Bang. Okay. So I think I see what we need to do there. I think we can actually make the this one twice as long. This one twice as long. Screen shake, we kind of want to wait for that whole screen shake to occur. We're just going to make the whole thing just a little bit slower so you can kind of appreciate it and absorb it a bit more. And maybe we don't need this overshoot. Maybe I'm just trying to make things a bit more complicated than they need to be. I think that's all right. Okay, so this will hopefully just look a little bit more quaint, but more watchable. Okay. Yeah, that's good, isn't it? I like that. Okay, right. So we now let me just try and work out. So we're looking to we will eventually create this continue button. Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we got the heyo, so that means that it did get to the point that we wanted to get. So now we want to have, let's have a look. So we now want to have like gold, the amount of gold gained. So so we can actually create, this is why, this is a bit of something that's a little bit clever. So what we can actually do is have, yeah, this does feel a little, what I'm actually looking at is when we're gaining gold, we could just simply have text that sort of slams down and then says like gaining this much gold. And it doesn't have to look exactly the same, but we could almost use a lot of this code again. I think we just do that, but change all the bits that we want to change. So we probably don't need that anymore. Okay. So let's go. So obviously we've already created this variable, so we don't need to create it again. So what are the things that we're going to do? We're going to have right. Okay, here's where it gets a little bit interesting. This is, I'm going to look a little crazy as I do this, but you're going to have to trust me. We're going to have int gold gained. All right, that's going to be a an argument that we're going to put in here. So we're going to have int gold gained, and as we're progressing and making more of this victory, we're going to have more arguments that go in here. But we're just going to start with this one. Gold gained goes in there, and I think let's just say 50. Is 50 high or low? I don't know yet. We'll find out. So now we're essentially doing take two. Gold gain. If gold gained is greater than 0, then we're going to do a bunch of stuff. We're going to do all this stuff. So we're creating it, getting hold of the trans, making the local scale there. We also want so we're now actually dot get TM. So with this victory text script over here, we want to get hold of the text mesh because we don't want to just for it to just simply say victory, then go away, and then as soon as that's done, victory again. We're going to say TM dot text equals gold gained plus gold gained dot toString Okay. That should still boink. That still looks pretty good, so that's fine. I don't think it needs to shake quite as much, so why don't we just have it 0.2 this time. Can get rid of that. A lot of this looks good. I think about here is where we're going to do. We're actually going to have game info script dot instance dot add coins gold gained. So when it comes up, we've got this thing, this script here, which we're going to access, and we're going to add the gold to our current pool of gold that we have. Okay, and at this point here, we're waiting for the text to get the correct size, and we're waiting for the game info script to finish adding all the money. And once all that's happened, we're then going to get the text to fade down, move to point. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, all right. It's starting to shape up okay at the moment. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, so, oh yeah, we've just done the battle, yay! Right, victory! Ah, what's going on? Right, let's see. Oh, right. Oh yeah, I see the problem. So, yeah, this is an obvious problem, don't worry. Easily fixed. So what I should be doing, which I didn't, is we're going to have a core thing, master. This big boy here. Right, this script has got lots of useful, relevant information. And as you'll see here, the gold coins are 0. It was trying to access this, but it didn't exist. So, yeah. So it should be okay now. So victory! Boom. Gold gained. 50. So still waiting for this to get to the top. Nice. Okay. Nice. Okay. Now. I quite like that. I'm just going to have another quick look. Check, see if there's anything. Now, one thing that I'm noticing, and it's quite hard to show now, but around each of the letters, we're getting these odd lines, these like artifacts or whatever. Yeah, you can see them just there. Oh yeah. And I kind of know why that is the case, but I don't know how to fix it quite yet. The reason being is when we're doing when you're putting any like, what's the word, font, that's the word, whenever you're putting a font together, you have all the letters like A, B, C, D, E, F, and obviously there's a certain number of pixels, but you actually put it in almost like a long sprite sheet. So you've got A, B, C, D, E, F, and so if you were to pick, say, B, it would have a little clip, a tiny little segment of what was in the A, and sometimes it can just pick that up, which is something which I'm going to work on fixing. I don't really know how to do that yet, but I just thought it's like that is a problem. I'm putting that into the bubble of problems that we've got, and anyway, right. So now what I want to do next is essentially do what is probably going to be the most fun but most taxing part. We are going to get the player. So what we should do actually, So at the moment, the gold comes up and then it just goes away automatically. Ideally, I want there to be a button that you can press. Let's actually see what. No. Let's have a look. So what we can do is I can look at. Yeah, I want to create a button that you can click to just say, you know, continue. So there's different things which I could do. What I think makes most sense is I'm missing my mouth. Right. Even though it's a little bit cheap, it's a little bit cheap. I am going to steal these two from my other game, and that's just going to be the continue button. So you can tap it to continue, I think. Yeah, it should be fine. So let's go grab hold of these. Actually, before I do that, let's just work out where we're going to put it. So resources, sprites, buttons, folder. I'm going to have victory buttons, I guess, and we're going to get hold of both of these and put them on here. And the beauty is because all I'm doing is just copying from my own, you know, my own supply of assets, so it doesn't really count as cheating. Now, I think this might be a bit big, but we'll find out. We're turning the pixels per unit to 128. We'll turn it to point filter and compression none, and then apply. I'm doing that almost. That's almost muscle memory now. It does help to just have a consistent number that you set everything to. So we're going to plus. We're going to have a 2D sprite, which is going to be a square, and we're going to call it victory continue new. I can type really quickly, I just can't actually type the correct letters. Game object. Okay, now let's go. I've forgotten what I called it. It's alright, it will turn up, we just got to find it. Glaive, that was it. Okay. Okay. So that looks okay. Okay. And right now, here is where things get a little bit interesting. We're going to want to make sure that it reacts when you press it. So that isn't too difficult. It's just a long list of things that that aren't super intuitive that you need to do. So let's just, for my own sanity, these need to all be 0. We're going to set this to front, and we're going to make it say 20. So in theory, the reason this being 20 means that this will be in front of the victory, the text that comes up. And let me just play just to confirm that is correct. So yeah, it does go in front of it, which is exactly as intended. Right, cool. Okay, so we've got this. Right, we're going to add component 2D box collider. Oh no, not a box collider. I don't think it is. Circle collider 2D. So I just want to check that. Oh, hold on. Control Z. Aha. Right, so just pressing this enables you to see, and that circle, that is about where we want it, how big we want the box collider. I could literally make it a box, but I'd rather have it a circle. Makes a bit more sense. Okay, so right now we need to UI add event system. Why? Because it doesn't work if not. This is actually, it turns out, and I feel quite happy about this, it's not just me who found this frustrating. It's like, because when you're putting a scene together, sometimes, when you're trying to make what actual UI stuff in which we're not using, it creates this automatically. And it's just, oh yeah. Anyway, I won't go into too much detail. But yeah, so that's step number 1. Step number 2, we want to we're going on to our main camera and we're adding physics 2D raycaster. Okay. I think, yeah, I tell you, when it actually comes to raycasting, it always confuses me. But it's essentially what a raycaster is doing is it's essentially detecting when you click, it's pointing towards whatever you're actually physically clicking on the screen, and reacting. So, but don't worry about that too much. Victory button here. We're going to have create a C# script. We're going to call it Victory Continue Button Script. Sweet. Okay. Right. Now, Victory Continue Button Script. Sweet. Okay, now we're going to edit. Okay, so let's get all the things that we need. So, oh yeah, by the way, there's a whole other thing. So there's a whole, when I was saying you need to add the event system, why? I don't know. We need to get it to the camera and put the 2D physics raycaster. Sure, I mean, I guess that makes sense. Here's another thing that, unless you've seen someone else do it and you know what to do, it just doesn't make an awful lot of sense. So we're going Unity Engine dot event systems. Okay, all right. And now here's where it gets a little bit interesting as well. We're going to have I pointer down handler. Okay, we're adding this. This is another. So it's essentially a child of both the mono behavior and the I pointer down handler. What does this mean? Right, we're going to have, so if you notice it's a red squiggly line now, I'm going to create a function that's called void, well actually no, let's have it public void on pointer down okay, yeah. So, as you may have noticed, I've got a function here that's called onPointerDown, and it has to be spelt exactly like that. Right? So now we're not getting the red squiggly line, and we're not getting the red squiggly line specifically because we put onPointerDown and then had an argument which is the point event data PED. Right? What does the point event data do? Don't know. Don't care. Oh, hey, how you doing, man? Oh, wicked. Oh, yes. Yeah, I kind of... so I've actually kind of arranged my entire room around. And I thought I would sort of, heed your advice. So I've moved everything about. And I would then thought, it doesn't quite kind of... I don't know. The green screen is going to be a little bit more tricky. But don't worry. I'll have it for next time. I promise. Oh. Right. You've caught us. We're doing the the bit which means that when you click on something it reacts, and I've just gone through this lengthy explanation of how you've got to put in multiple things that don't really make an awful lot of sense. But now we've done this, we can go debug.log. all right, and now I'm going to have, say, hey, oh no, hold on. Hey y'all, and now that we've done all of this, right, we want to just check that this button is actually working. I think we've done all the things that we need to do, but let's go double check. Right. Let's have a look. So what we're looking to do, I'm looking to click this, and it says "Hey Jarl" at the bottom. We have got it all sorted. Right, brilliant. Okay, so now that we've done that, we can actually edit the button properly. So, right. I just wanted to get all of this just to get it all sorted and stuff. Right. So, yeah, we just want to get access to the transform, so we'll just call it button trans private. Do we even need the sprite render? Yes, we do. Sprite renderer button SR, and we want to have a void Why is that not working? Okay. Oh, I didn't do capitals, that's why. Okay. Button, so we're just getting access to it, so we're going to have get component transform, and we're going to have button SR equals get component sprite renderer. Okay. So now we've got access to all of those. What we also want to have is we want to have the button up and the button down sprites. So private sprite button up sprite and private sprite button down sprite. Okay. Yeah, it is weird because kind of like I'm finally moving to the next part. It's like I've made the basic gameplay and I'm like ready to move. So there's a few things. It's like, because I have done code similar to this earlier, but this is for a different purpose. So and now button up sprite equals resources dot load sprite. And we just want to get the path, so we want to make sure this button up sprite is, let's go have a look. I think it's just glaive 5. Why have you called it glaive? Isn't that a type of spear? Yes, it is, and it has nothing to do with this. I like giving funny names to things. It's I don't know if yeah. Right, so we're copying the path. And then we just get rid of this bit here. Okay. Okay. Because, yeah, that is one thing which is like the ongoing harrowing issue, is trying to come up with a name for all the different variables. It's just so hard. It's just, dear me. So it's like, I think at the time when I was making the name of this button, I was just thinking, I can't think of anything. What's the first thing in my head? Glaive. That's a type of spear. Let's stick with that. Right, anyway. So we've got that. And even though it's already set to it, what we want to do as well is go button sr.sprite equal to button up sprite. Okay. So that will make sure it will always become the correct sprite. So what's going to happen on pointed down? We're going to have a private I enumerator, and we're going to have I think we can even have this as private. No, we'll have it as public just in case. We can have a public boolean, which we're going to have, which is just going to be called button held down. Okay. So private I enumerator button down routine. Okay, and we're going to get rid of this hey y'all, and we're going to start coroutine button down routine. Obviously, like what is quite fun is just doing things slowly, step by step. So here, I'm just going to, in fact, we can copy most of this. Button down routine. Oh no, button down sprite. And then this is the bit of a technical bit. This is where it gets a little bit interesting. While input dot get mouse button, that's it. 0 yield return null. Okay, and then we're going to have button sr dot sprite equals button up sprite. Okay, so what's going on? What does all this mean? So we worked out earlier that by having this function here, it means when you click on it, something happens. Originally, it was just a debug message saying, hey, y'all, whereas we've actually developed it slightly further, and we are going to have a button down routine where we have the button where it basically turns it into the button down sprite, and then we keep it held down, and then when you let go, the button comes up again. So we can just give that a test, see if it works. Okay, so ignore what's happening on in the background. So we're pressing it down, and then when we let go, it comes back up. Okay. So what we kind of want to happen is so yeah, that's fine. So okay, so this will obviously require a little bit of okay, so before I do anything else, I want to actually have a, let me just try and work something out. Let's see what makes sense. Over here, we're going to have a public void summon and a private enumerator, a private coroutine, which is going to be called summon routine. Right. So start coroutine, summon routine, and we kind of just want it to fade it from clear to opaque. So I also want another public bool busy, so another. And before I forget, I had this button held down, but I didn't actually use it, so sorry, this is just the side bit from earlier. Button held down equals true. Button held down equals false. That might not matter at all, but I like to have that there. Okay, so summon routine. What are we doing? We are bless me. button SR dot color equals color dot clear. Int chum equals mover dot instance dot fade SR to color. We're putting the sprite renderer into it. We want to make it color dot clear, dot white, sorry. And then I think we can just do it over 0.5 seconds. That's fine. While now this will require a little bit of thought. Not this bit. This is easy. Okay, let's rock. Busy equals true. Busy equals false. Okay, so we're going to change a few little things. Just got to think exactly where we're going next. So. Sorry, I knocked that coffee back a lot faster than I probably should have. Just need the energy. It's like, rah, let's go. Coffee. Okay. Private game object. Victory button go. We want to get access to this victory button as well. So we're going to have victory button go equals resources dot load game object, and we want to just get the bit that we can access. That's fine. Okay, we haven't even made it a prefab yet. Gah! What a buffoon. That's okay. So victory here. So we've got the text, and we're going to add one of these little buddies to here. So we can get rid of him now. You could just say we could get rid of the game object. By him, that implies that it's like, oh no, you're killing a human life. No, I'm not. This is just a, it's all right. He's here. That's fine. Okay, so we're going to copy path. No one was thinking that. Right. So we've got access to this now, which is wicked. And so I'm going to do something a little bit cheekier. Okay, so here is where things get a little bit interesting. We're going to have a public boolean, which is going to be called waiting for button press. Okay. So I want to just check that I'm putting this in the correct space. Now, victory continue button script equals instantiate victory button go, but we do actually want to summon it new vector 3, and I believe it's going to be 0.0f on the x scale and minus 2.0f, and we're going to put quaternion identity, because as we've established before, we know exactly what that means. So that's why we're putting that there. Right, dot get component victory continue. Right, okay. So we've now created this button, and we're going to have victory continue button script dot summon. So we're creating it, and we're actually doing the summon routine while victory continue button script dot busy yield return null. Okay, so I don't think we need this. I'm not going to delete it, I'm just going to get there. Okay, now here is where things are going to get a little bit spicier. We're going to have waiting for button press equals true. Okay. While waiting for button press, yield return null. Okay. So let's have a little look. If we go onto our button now, over here, nope, not there. So what I kind of want is if victory master script dot instance dot waiting for button press so it's basically checking to see if this particular boolean is true, and if it is, we're going to have that equal to false. Okay, so and I think we want to do the same for the coins as well. So right, so, and as soon as you've pressed it, this becomes false, and it resumes doing what it was doing. Now, I think we can get rid of this bit here. So we're just waiting for the gold to become big. We're then, again, just going to comment this out. Okay, so we want to make sure that you have to press a button in order to continue. Not just, it doesn't just continue automatically. So let's see if that works. Let's see how far along we are. Victory! Gold gained. And now you can still, even while it's ticking up, you can still do that. That's still ticking. And then whatever the next thing is going to happen, yeah, will come up. Okay, that worked. That worked really well. I always like to, when something works really well the first time, I always like to do a quick test. Check that it's, yeah, victory. Is it annoying me? Is it annoying everyone else as much, the fact that the victory isn't quite in the centre? I thought it would be. Wonder why. I'm not sure. So if I was to just put, say, oh, that's why. Sorted. Okay, that's fine. I know exactly why. Because I put a space at the end. So if we go into this bad boy, yeah, there's a space. So that should work now. Okay, so, okay, alright, now I can carry on living my life. Yeah, victory. Boom. Okay. Gold gained. This could be a little bit smaller and maybe a bit further down, couldn't it? So let's do that. I don't think that's too much work. So, first of all, let's go make it a little bit lower down. Where are we? Here. We've done it -2. Let's go make it -3. And what we'll also do is, just want to get to here. So I've got to remember that making this bigger means that it comes across smaller. So if I just have times by 2, 256, let's see what that looks like. Oh yeah, apply. Yeah. So victory, that looks a lot nicer, doesn't it? Gold gained. Yeah, sweet. Okay, so what we want to do now is now you know, kind of so yeah, this is fine. This is fine. So what we're going to do now, so we've created the continue button. I like to kind of put them, I like to put these comments at the place where it's relevant. So we've just created that there. Have routine for collecting gold. Yeah, a random amount of gold, that's fine. So now, what something which I'm quite, I've been doing quite a lot is I do all the easy bits and then I get to the hard bit, but I like to think that I've paved the way for the difficult bit. So, and right, so so we don't need that anymore. This is bringing up the card selection. This genuinely will be a little bit tricky. Let's not try and beat around the bush. Okay, so what we want is over here, we want to have a new integer number of cards to add. Okay. On almost every occasion it's always going to be 1, but I feel I may as well put this in here, you know, just so there is an option to have, like, if there's like a really big reward where you can get like 3 cards, we at least have that option there. So okay, so for int I equals 0, I less than number of cards to add, I plus plus. So basically, however many cards that we're going to add, in this case it's just 1, we're going to repeat this process over and over. So what's going to happen? We're going to do quite a lot of what we did here. So we want to have the text a little bit higher up, so we're actually going to instantiate it at new vector 3, still 0.0f on the x scale, but on the y let's go 3.0f. And then, as we all know, we know what quaternion.identity means, so we don't need to discuss that. And here we're going to have choose a card to add to your deck. Right. Okay, again, doing all the easy bits, and then we're going to sort of get to the difficult bit. So, have a little bit of a screen shake, but not much. Okay, so here we then want to create 3 random cards. That's going to be hard. Let's not try and... Yeah, this is going to be pretty tricky. But I think I got this covered. Right. So create 3 random cards to choose from. Now, one thing that's important to note as well, at the moment, I'm just going to work on creating 3 random cards to come up. When I do make the game slightly more fleshed out, I want, you know, the actual champion cards, the really good rare like mega cards, to be, you can only get them a bit later on, you know, because I think it's a bit unfair if you get one of the super overpowered cards right at the beginning. But for the time being, we're just going to have it picked at random, so it's fine if we do get the good ones. Right, okay. Right. So, and now, what would be the best way of selecting them? I think what would make sense would be you have the 3 cards presented in front of you. If you tapped one of them, it got a little bit bigger, and if you tapped it again, it got smaller. But if you, say, tapped one that got big, and then you tapped another one, the other one the original one would get smaller, and the one that you've clicked, and then you just have to press the continue button. I think that's okay. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe you just click it and it adds to your deck. Yeah, I think I prefer that. Okay, how are we going to do that? Very, very good question. So, I know, right, that Destiny stuff. So, anyway, we're quite happy here. Right, here's where things get a little bit interesting. I'm going to... let's have a look, sorry. We're going to go into our... Right, scenes. Well, I've got Destiny map and play. Pause. So the thing that I'm a bit scared of is here I've created the whole all of the cards that you can have in your deck, and oh yeah, of course you've actually got the ability to scroll through them as well, but like there's a lot less code involved in one of these cards than one of the actual cards. Individual library card go clone. Okay, fantastic. So I kind of I would rather use this code than, or one of these game objects, than one of the ones from the actual deck, because that's going to be it's going to be needlessly expensive on the processor. So we're just going to try and work out. It's called individual library card go. I can't remember where That's it. Okay. So we stop that there. Just got to work out exactly where it's kept. Okay, it's card stuff. It's this one. This is what we're after. This is the key thing that we're looking for. Okay, right. Now that I know where this is, let me copy this path. We're going to have a new game object, private game object. I don't know what we should call it. We'll just call it individual card go. That's fine. So individual card go equals resources dot load game object, and we're going to we still need to do a few things to this, but I think this is going to have the bulk of what we need. So okay, so so for the time being, I just want to see if we can get as far as just having 3 empty cards come up. So yeah, so for int I equals 0, I less than 3, I plus plus. Oh no, this can be j. I'm using a for loop within a for loop, so I always just do one next in the alphabet. So j, j, and j. Okay, right, we're okay, boys. Right. So now, we're going to add a new variable here, which is going to be int card size selection. This is basically just saying how many cards you've got to pick from. There is something in Slay the Spire which means you only get a selection of 2 cards, and there's another thing which means you can get a selection of 4 cards. So we're assuming it's 3, but may as well put this in. So card selection size. Individual library card script. Individual library card script. Yeah, so we're going to make an array equals new Okay, so what we've done here is we've just created an empty array which is eventually going to hold 3 different individual library card scripts. Okay, so and oh yeah, actually that should be card size selection. So however many cards you are, that's how many we're going to create. So individual library card script equals instantiate individual card go, comma, new vector 3 at, I think, minus 2.0f. So it's going to default to being 2 to the left. That might be a little short. Plus, no. Let's go minus 3 and then plus open brackets I times by 3. So it will start at minus 3, then 0, then plus 3. And I think the y should be 0. Yeah, and Quaternion to identity. Okay. Right. Yeah, okay. So let's just see where we're up to now. Yeah, so this obviously needs a lot of work, but I feel we start with this and then work out where we're at. I'm in the wrong scene at the moment, which is a good start. Victory. So let's have a look. So victory, play. Right, continue going. Gold gained, nice. Oh yeah, this writing's far too big. And they're all created at the same space, so let's try and work out why we've done that. Oh yeah, because I've done I, not J. But that's fine. What we can also do as well is where we've got this text mesh, we're going to have victory text script dot get tm dot character size equals, and I'm going to try 2.5f because I think it's currently set to 4 and I feel 2.5 is probably better. Let's give this a try. Cool. Right, victory. Gold gained. It's even bigger, isn't it? Let's see. Anyway, but that's come up. That's come up well. That's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so we just need to sort out why all this text is bigger. I think that's because I've changed the wrong thing. Let's just have a little look. Oh, okay. That's fine. Let's try 0.5. So, anyway, that's... So basically everything's working. Everything's working. It's all good. Okay. So now, where are we going next? What we want to do is actually give each one of these individual library card scripts an actual property, a card property to work with. So yeah, so what we're going to do, we're going to give it a card class, or I should say a card scriptable object. So what we need to do now is try and find, try and work out a good way of actually picking out 3 cards at random. So there's plenty of ways we could do it. Just got to work out what would make the most sense. So over here, what we essentially want to do is search in this folder here, get hold of all of these, and then pick out 3 at random, making sure they're not that we're not picking out the same one. But what I kind of want to do as well is make sure that we've only actually got the level 1 ones. So how would we go about doing that? I think it's all to do with the last character. So done. Okay, right. Sorry, just worked it out. Just what clocks it in my head. I don't know if this is the most efficient method, but we're going to have we'll have this as public card SO. It's actually a public list, and we'll call it potential card SOs. Okay. And upon awake, no, actually, maybe. So this is a thing that we can spend a long time putting together, but I'm quite happy doing it, making it slightly simple. So so in here, in the begin victory, we're going to have a new function where we're going to have public void sort potential card SOs. Okay. So with this function will basically fill this list with all the important cards that we can have as potential selections. Okay, so card SO full card list equals resources dot load all card SOs from there. Okay, so oh, I guess it's just that then. Okay. For open brackets int I equals 0, I less than full card list dot length I plus plus. If full card list I, so we're basically cycling through every single card that there is, dot name dot card name try and work out why that's not working. Okay, I think we've done it. So we're basically looking for all of the cards that have the last digit as 1, because that indicates that it's like a level 1 version. Okay. We also, before I forget, we're going to have potential card SOs equals new list of card SOs. Okay, so we're clearing these potential cards, making it a whole fresh new list, right? We're then getting hold of all the cards, then we're filtering out all the ones that have a 1, and we're going to have potential card SOs dot add okay, so sort potential card SOs. Okay, this will eventually need a lot more work, but I want to have a good sort of skeletal structure and see where it goes. So now we are getting hold of all the cards, then picking out all of those. So at the moment it's not actually affecting anything that's happening down here, it doesn't matter. But what we are testing for, did I save it? No, I didn't save it. What we are testing for is simply when we press play, I want to be able to look at all the potential card SO. Sorry, I do apologise. I've been saying card SO for a while. That is card scriptable object. Now, something which I learned earlier, like several episodes ago, was each potential card that you can have should be its own scriptable object. And the scriptable object is basically all I can think of is if you're playing top trumps and you want a blank card where you can just put all the stuff in, right? This is essentially what it is, where all of these are they've all got this same number of like features and stuff that we can just put our own ones in. I've created it's 26, 27 cards, and all of them have 3 different levels. And obviously the higher the level the better it is, but we want to make sure that as a base default, when you're picking cards, you only just pick the level 1 ones to begin with. I'm obviously going to have things later which mean, oh brilliant, you can get level 2 or level 3 ones from the card selection, but we're going to cross that bridge later. Okay, so let's give this a shot. Okay, alright, that didn't take too long, which was slightly worrying because there was quite a lot of information that needed to be done. So over here, didn't work. Let's try and work out why. So what I was hoping that we would have the list of all the potential card scriptable objects. Let's have a look. So could that work? No. Okay, so what I'm just doing here I just want to have a little debug to check for all the names of all the cards. So in an ideal world, we'll get this big chunky debug message with all the cards. That'll just mean that it will show that we've made a little bit of progress. And I've just got to work out why this code isn't working quite as well as I want it to. Oh! I actually do know why. Oh! This is much easier. I have made life so much more difficult. Wow. Okay. Ah. Damn it. I'm such an idiot. I am such an idiot. I have made... Okay. Ah, this is fantastic. Okay. Right. I'm such an idiot. Okay. I'll explain what I was trying to do versus what I should have done. Right. So... obviously all of these are leveled and they've got 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3 to indicate what level they have, right? And my plan was to get hold of this name, right? And then check the last character of this particular name and then check if it equals to 1, right? There's a much easier way because they've all got their card level. They're all their card level there is there. So I mean, I have made my life so much more difficult than it needs to be. All we actually need to do is have dot card level is equal to 1. Ah, ah, dear me. See, if there's a guy called KO2 fan who probably would have spotted that, like, I reckon maybe 20 minutes ago. It has just been like, come on, man. You've literally got a variable to deal with this exact problem. Okay, anyway, hopefully this should work. It would be embarrassing if it doesn't work now. I think it should work, but let's go find out. Okay. So what we're just checking now. We want to go onto here. Yes. Okay. Let's have a look. Ah. So it looks like the good. Yeah. We can see from here. So there should be, I believe, 25 cards or 26 cards, I'm not sure. But over here we've got 3 Abomination cards. That's purely because I just haven't changed the level on it, which is very easy to fix. Card level is 2. And here card level is 3. And I think I've done the same for Glyszerka. I think these are all the cards that took me ages to, Glyszerka and Abomination literally took me an episode each to make. So I think that's good. Okay, so let's just double check. I also... Actually, no, before we continue... so, yeah, I'm going to put a little debug here. In fact, we don't need to divide it by 3. I just want to know the exact length of the number of card SOs, card scripture objects that we have, purely so that we know that, in theory, the potential cards should be 1/3 the size. But there's a good chance this is a useful way of actually fixing a few of these problems while we're here. So it doesn't need to be on maximum. So go on to here. Right, 25. Ah, so this says 78. So there is a card that I haven't put as level 1 that should be level 1. And let's see if we can actually cycle through and work out which one it is. So Window of Opportunities there, Ultimate Greed, Toughen. Yeah, so I'm just looking at all of these, checking. So yeah, so this will just take me just a minute or so. So hold formation, guard recruit, grave carvor, grand gesture, glycerca, dynamic recruit, different strategy. Oh, no, that is the correct number. There's 26 cards. Yeah, everything's fine. Sorry, I got confused because it says 25 there, but that includes 0, so that is 26. Okay, so everything's fine. Fantastic, done. Boom, sorted. Right, so these are the 26 cards that we got. So now... what we can do is just trying to work out the best way of doing this. The more that I think about it, we probably need to change. We need to have a different script than this individual library card script. Worry about that later, don't worry. Okay. So 4 card SO array card SOs to choose from equals new card SO card size selection. Okay, so we're getting 3 empty card SOs and then 4 int, we can use J again, equals 0, J less than card size selection, J plus plus, card, we want that. Okay, so we're getting hold of J. So this is almost right. So this is the reason that I've made these potential cards a list and not an array is because this way, like, because I was trying to work out, I want to make sure that when we're picking, like, say 3 random cards, we can't pick the same one twice, which is always statistically possible. However, if I use this particular method, and we'll have a bit of a safety thing, so if potential card SOs dot count is greater than 0. Okay. Else, ideally we'll never get this, but I want to put a debug message dot log, and it's going to have arg. Okay, it should never ever reach this, right? But we know if ever we get that, we got a problem. So now let's go change a little bit of this code. So int rando equals okay. Okay, so what are we doing? We are getting a list of potential cards, right? So we've created an empty array, and now card selection size is almost always going to be 3. So 3 times over, we're going to check first of all to see if the potential cards that we've got, remember that list of 26 cards that we had before, we're going to just check that they are, the count is greater than 0, which it always should be, but I always want to just check this just in case if something goes wrong in this function, we'll get this message here and we'll know there's a problem elsewhere. So this is like a safety thing. Like I say, never get to this probably, but I like to have it there just as a safety backup. So provided it's greater than that, we're then getting a random number between 0 and the potential card SOs.count. Now, so this will be any number that will from 0 to the count minus 1. So in this case, as it starts, the count is going to be the size 26, right? So we're essentially doing 0 to 26, but it can't be number 26, which took me a long time to grasp, which is good. So now we're making this first card equal to whichever number we came up with, and then we're removing that one from the list. So then we're doing that 3 times. So that way we can't actually have the same 3 cards. We can't have the cards being the same. So now over here we can have card SOs to choose from J. Okay. We can actually do something a bit sneaky, I think. Yeah. I'll just leave that there for the time being, because technically we don't need to have a separate for loop for each one. We can just have it like that. I just wanted to make it separately so it made a bit more sense. Okay, right, we are close. We're getting there. Okay, so now what we're hoping to happen is that we get a card selection with 3 different cards to choose from. So victory, yes. Gold gained, yeah. Got some gold. Choose a card to add to your deck. And then we have these 3 cards there. Ideally, I want this button here to be like skip or something. Now, yeah, so that's actually quite a good distribution. That looks okay, doesn't it? We're obviously going to work on having the background and stuff, but this is looking quite nice. Yeah, okay, I like this. We've actually made quite a lot of progress today. That's really good. I kind of, maybe if you hover over it, it becomes a bit bigger. And then when you click on it, it's going to add that card to your deck and continue to the next one. The thing that we're going to probably struggle with slightly is let me just try and think this through. when is I've just picked this individual card script, but I think I want to change it not to be an individual card script because the individual card script is really basic, and if I add any code to it, it means that when we're looking to check our entire deck, when we're looking to check our entire deck that could be as big as say 50 cards, it's going to have that bit of code for every single one. So we're going to probably create a new function which is going to be like victory card script or something. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah. Okay, this is starting to look pretty good. I'm actually quite liking this distribution. I kind of want this text to come up a little bit faster. So we have got enough time, so I shall continue going. What was I going to do? That was it. Right, so we're back over here. Here. Yeah. Right. So the beauty with this class is it's really cheap, whereas what we actually want is a script that's just a little bit more than this, which shouldn't be too hard. So I think we're going to have a new script that's going to be called something like individual victory card script. And I think that's all we need. Okay. So I'm mapping out what we need to do next. So, there's a lot of things that I might get wrong here. Card stuff, that's fine. Okay, we're going to duplicate this, okay? And this one here, we're going to call individual victory card go. That's fine. Okay, now we're going to go into here. We're going to remove this component and we're going to script create a new C# script which is going to be individual victory card script, and we're going to add this to it, and let's edit this. Actually, before I do that, this is something that I will definitely forget unless I do it right now. I'm going to copy this path and yeah, cool tune. I would love to make a tune like this on like GarageBand. This is just such a good tune. Okay. So this we will need to change. I just need to remember to change it. Oh. Go to definition. We want to add this here. Just because we're going to copy and paste a lot of this information. But we need more stuff in it as well. So I just want to check. Okay. So let's go. Yeah. Control C. Control V. Okay, but we want more stuff. Right, how do we do this? Okay. Before we continue, I think we go over here. We need to change this to individual victory card script. And so at the moment we've got two identical scripts, which doesn't make an awful lot of sense, but we're going to add a bunch of stuff. So this is basically going to have all of this stuff. So I'm now contemplating the idea of getting rid of all this and just making it a child of this script. You know what? Let's do this thing. Okay. Okay. I think that's good. All right. I think this works. I think this is fine. We will put stuff in here eventually, don't worry. But I think in theory all of this should work. I just thought it's like save some, make things a bit more efficient. I mean, because what we could also do as well is maybe with the game cards just do the same sort of thing, but don't worry about that for the time being. Okay. Like as in when we're in game, we can probably just steal this, because all this is doing is presenting information. We want to do that, but we want to do more stuff. Okay. And rename. We're just going to rename it as well, so there's no confusion. Individual victory card scripts. And it probably should have an S at the end as well. There you go. Alright, so there's quite a lot of things that could go wrong, and if everything goes wrong, anything does, and if nothing goes wrong at all, then and it looks exactly the same as it was, then we know it's worked. So let's go give this a shot. Yeah, okay. That's actually a lot better than it looks. That's exactly what we're after. Fantastic. Right, so how exactly do we want this to work? I think we should have it so that if the mouse goes over it, it just gets maybe a bit bigger. Let's see how much bigger we would want to make it. So I'm going to select this one here. And if I was to make that 1.5 by 1.5, I think that's okay. That's okay. Cool. Bless me. Okay. So we've got a few things that we need to do here. So straight off the bat, we're going to add component. Box collider, and it's quite hard to tell, but I'm pressing this button and you can see this little green bar. That's just to indicate that's how big the box collider is going to be. I just wanted to have a look. So now right, remember all that stuff that I did before where you have using Unity engine event systems. Sweet, we got that there. And we want an I pointer enter handler and an I pointer down handler. Okay. So I'm now thinking of a Rick and Morty joke. Right, so we're going to have public void on pointer enter. PED. D. What's pointer event data? No idea. You just have to have it as an argument. It has to go in. But what does it mean? What does it mean, old man? No idea. No idea whatsoever. I think it's to do with the location in which it's hitting. I think if we were to put physics into this game somehow, this would probably be really useful information. On pointer down. Okay. So, float. We also kind of want an I pointer exit handler, and okay, so what are we doing all here? So we can actually just break down each thing. In fact, it will be this case. I normally do it in sort of comments and stuff, but we're going to have a Boolean that's called growing. Okay. So, private, my favourite thing in the world, coroutines or IEnumerators, grow routine. And we'll also have a public float current scale. So we want that to equal 1 actually. Let's try and work out a good way of doing this. Because yeah, the slight problem with making this a child of this, I kind of want to add a whole new. I think I can do this. I think this has to be private though. Let's see if I've got this right. I think this is fine because I want to check that what this float is. I want to get access to it. I don't need to change it. I just want to see it. And I believe by making it a serialized field, even though it's private, we will still be able to just see the number. So, grow routine. Okay. So we're going to have on enter if not growing. If not growing, start coroutine, grow routine. Okay. Growing equals true while growing yield return null. Current scale plus equals, and I'm just going to have time dot delta time if current scale is greater or equal to 1.5f, current scale equals 1.5f, and so much of me is thinking that we also need to have growing equals false, but I don't think we need that here, not for what I'm trying to do. So I'm just going to leave that there because we might need to put that in later, but I don't think we actually need that. Okay. Upon exit, if growing equals false, not 100% sure if this is the right way. Is that everything that we need to do? I mean, let's give this a shot. Yeah, it doesn't. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, let's give this a try. I'm still not completely convinced. Because obviously you want to hover over it to get for it to be a little bit closer, so you can read it slightly better. I don't know. I think this should work. Okay. Not working, is it? These do have a box collider. So the current scale is 1. Why is that not working? Oh yes, everything's fine. Yeah, I just didn't do the obvious thing. All I've done is just put the... Yeah, by the way, this current scale, I haven't actually said... We've just made this number go up and down. We haven't actually done anything to it. So, this will be easy. So, card trans. So what we can do here, just to make life a little bit easier, this is going to be protected. So, when it's protected, that means that so we've got this victory card script that's getting all the information from here, but if it's protected, it means this script can then get access to this. So we're turning this into protected. So now we can have card trans dot local scale equals new vector 3 current scale, comma, current scale, so yeah, this will look pretty good now. Hopefully, let's give it a shot. Right, so just have it available on this one. Okay. Oh, I've just created them. I probably could actually make them summon, but yeah. Yeah, that looks a lot better, doesn't it? I kind of want all this to happen a bit faster. I want it to be more like you go on and it just gets bigger a bit faster, which is very easily done. Okay, and so at the moment clicking on it doesn't do anything, but let's go... Right. So I'm just sort of working out. So we want that to go quicker, and what I want to happen as well is when you do click on it, the other two just like kind of fade, like vanish away, like almost burn away, to make it look as though you've that's the one that you've collected, and the other two are just going to sort of burn away as though like almost to give you that slight feeling of regret, like I could have done that. Yeah, so where we've got time.delta time, we can literally just times that by, say, 3. So it's happening 3 times faster, just feels a bit smoother. Okay. So now so what do we actually this will be a bit tough, I won't lie. We're going to have it as a public void. Because, yeah, we need to... yeah. Public void. Select this card. And ideally... Oh, this is tough. First of all, I've got to think of animations. So what we'll do is... yeah, so this does require quite a bit of thought. I just got to think exactly how we're going to do this. We're going to have... forget that for the time being. Public void vanquish card private enumerator vanquish card routine. Nope. Oh yeah. So we're just going to give it the boolean there. So yeah, we've got to kind of work slightly backwards. So busy equals true. Busy equals false. We will put in yeah, actually I want to put the, how do we make first of all, so at the moment I think everything's fine. We're just going to take a small step back, and I want to go into the game, because the animation that I've used to vanquish cards, I want to actually just steal that. Not that it's a particularly amazing one, but we don't need to go in. You know, doesn't need to look too good because I want to make it so the one that you selected kind of becomes all starry and selected, and the other two just kind of burn away. So this will just take a sec. So if we go to the main game, so yes, good. We've got this card. Okay, right. So I've just played it. I just got to remember exactly. Okay. So somewhere. Oh. Huh. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so this will be hopefully a lot easier than I thought it would be. So all we actually need to do is get hold of this Vanquish PE, particle effect is what it stands for. Yeah, that would be a lot easier than I thought. Okay, fantastic. Easily done. Right. I just got to find it. That looks like the one. Right, so it's in Particle Effects Vanquish PE. Brilliant. Okay. So. So we need to actually get access to the so what's the easiest way of doing that? Yeah, so basically what I'm contemplating now is the easiest way of getting hold of this particle effect and then kind of putting it at the same place as our card. And I don't know if it's quicker to actually put it on this card or just have it attached to this big master script. Actually, I think we're going to got the third option, which sounds inefficient, but I think it's actually the best method. So, okay. So yeah, sorry, this is going to take a little while. So, oh, that's fine. Yeah, so all we actually need to do is just create it. That's no problem. So, so int chum equals mover.instance.fade sr to color. Oh yes. Ha 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 hee. Right. It's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all good. Everything's all good, and everything's great. So yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. So we need the card SR, all the text messages, and the card art. So yeah, it's not one solid game object. There's lots of different moving parts within it, and we're looking to fade each individual one to clear. So that will be card TM's I, and here we're going to... Okay. And now... Yeah, this is what I was a bit afraid of, but I'm not too scared of it because it's, even though this is quite expensive, we're never going to be doing this. It's never going to overwhelm anything. Resources.load game object. Nope. And we all know what quaternion.identity means, so I don't need to discuss that. Well, I don't know what quaternion.identity means. No, we should all know. Come on, have you not written it down in your textbook yet? Right, okay. Right. Believe it or not, we're close. We're getting there. Okay. So we're going to just wait, move.instance.s to f bool. Okay. I'm going to do something that's a little sneaky. I don't know how. I'm not in love with doing this, but if we have, because the problem is that with this particular particle effect, like as a programmer, what you kind of get used to doing is. Now, this is going to seem a bit weird, but you think of every single possible problem that could occur. So what I want to happen is for them to just fade away. However, this particular particle effect is of the size of 1.5 times the scale. So what I'm actually going to do, this is a little bit sneaky, but mover.instance.grow to size card trans new vector 3 1.5f. So regardless of what size it is, because bear in mind you might be moving back and they're going to be changing sizes, it's always going to grow to 1.5 and then fade away, but it's going to kind of do that all at the same time. Hopefully it will just look pretty good regardless of anything. And then we want to destroy game object. Okay, so now now is the sparkle effect exactly the same? No. Okay. Right. But that's actually, I think this is all the stuff that we need for the Vanquish card. So Vanquish card, start coroutine, Vanquish card. I was going to say destroy card. But yeah, it just looks a bit better. Okay. All right. So for destroying it, I think this is more or less sorted. There will still probably be hiccups along the way, but I think this is fine. We're going to have a public void add this card, add this card. And then private enumerator, add this card routine. Start coroutine, add this card routine. So this is going to be when it's selected. Now how we actually get all this sorted is going to be a little bit perplexing, but again, do all the easy bits surrounding that, and then we work on the difficult part. So let's just go make a nice routine for when it's being added. So it's actually going to be a little bit similar to this. Let me have a little look. So I'm going to experiment with a couple of things. This might not work. Yeah. Okay. So there's going to be a lot of this is going to be the same. So let's just copy and paste this. So it's still going to grow to the size. It's still going to fade away. We will have this here instead. So it's going to instantiate it, but it's also going to load it. We're instantiating this, but we're going to make it a parent. Card sparkle script. So like with the Vanquish, it's simply as easy as just creating it at the same spot and it looks fine. Whereas this is where it gets a little bit more complicated. So card. Oh, yep. Card sparkle script. Dot. Start sparkling. And what we also want to do is have mover.instance. got to remember how... No, you know what? Yeah, no, this is fine. But we just need to do something a little bit smart here. Ah, yeah, that's it. Detach self and destroy self. Okay, brilliant. I've actually dealt with this whole problem. Okay, yeah. So, like, because if we actually attach it to it, and we destroy the card, the sparkles just instantly click off. Whereas if we detach it, the sparkles are just going to fade away. So, I think that's good enough for now. I do ideally want to make it spin and then move down and it look all sparkly and great, but this is a good start. Now, we just have to work out so, right. Turns out we don't need that, that's fine. Okay. So, right, now, essentially at this particular stage here, where we are, we've got 3 different things that we can click on. And while we're here, let's go actually treat ourselves a little bit. Public void summon. No, we don't. That's fine. We don't need that. Right, sweet. Okay, so we're actually going to summon. We're going to have a little animation where it just fades from clear to opaque. So start coroutine, summon routine. Busy equals true. Busy equals false. It's mostly this. There's other stuff as well. Don't worry. We got to copy and paste this and then just change quite a few of the numbers and get rid of some stuff, but it's fine. So we don't need any of that. That's fine. White, white. And while in the mood of copying things, and just mainly just because I feel this looks a bit neater. We also actually need to make all of these equal clear to begin with. Okay. Okay, this is fine. Sorry. I've done this quickly because it really isn't that complex as to what I'm doing. I'm essentially just setting all of our both the card itself and the art on the card, along with all the text, equal to clear, so they sort of fade in, just so it looks a bit better. I feel like we may as well treat ourselves. We're going to try and, you know, I just don't like it when things just click on. It just looks a bit rubbish. Whereas this, so that's fine. Da-da-da-da. Okay. Okay. 4 int I equals 0, I listen. So we also want to make sure that all the cards have appeared before you can select them. Okay. Okay, okay. Now we've got another difficult bit, another bit which I'm just trying to work out. Okay. So what we kind of want to do we need to do this. And now, so here's, yeah, this is like, I want to make sure, so obviously there's 4 different outcomes that we can have. There are 3 different cards and selecting no cards at all. I think there's other ways we could do this, but this way is a lot clearer. We're going to have a public string, which is card selection choice. Okay. Okay. And a bit earlier we created this victory continue script. So we're actually going to do a little bit more work here. Public bool card selection ready. Okay. So, if card selection ready, we're going to do a bunch of code. No. Hold on. No, sorry. Change my mind. Change my mind again. Don't worry, we don't need that. We're going to actually X. We're going to put this boolean. That's better. That's much better. Okay. So over here, we also card selection ready equals true. Okay. All right. This is going to get. This is a lot easier. Yeah, as I say, you know when you're trying to work it out in your head. I think this is good. I think this is good. Right. So if victory master script dot instance dot card selection ready. Control C equals false. Card selection choice equals no card. I think I prefer this. I think I prefer this. So, yeah, okay. Yeah. Does it have to be a string? Does it have to be a string? I don't think it does. Sorry. Just kind of back and forthing. I don't think it needs to be a string. I think we can have this as an integer. Yeah. It doesn't. It's not one. I totally love it. But I think it makes more sense for it to be an integer. Okay. So where were we? Victory equals. And I think that can be 0. Maybe. Yeah. That's equal to 0. Okay. And Control C. Control V. Okay. Public int. In fact, yeah, public int selection number. There's probably easier ways of doing this. And as part of the summon, we're going to have int selection number. Yeah, this is. I think this will work. I quite like this. Okay, so it's all public. Yeah, I think the thing which I didn't like is just the fact that we actually need to add 1 to this selection number. Actually, maybe we don't. We could just do that. forget all of that. We just have this as -1. Okay. Okay, right. This will make sense, don't worry. Everything will unfold. You'll be like, oh, that's why he did this. This is why he was debating this. Ah, you know, it'll make sense. Don't worry. So. Okay. If card selection choice is greater than 0, no, is not equal to -1. Else this needs to be J less than okay. I keep putting I there. This is actually really dangerous stuff. Like, it's so bad. If I didn't actually pick up that I put an I there and I just left it, that could have led to so many problems. It would, well, actually no, it would have only crashed. It wouldn't have it wouldn't have actually exited the entire of Unity, which is something that I ran in, a problem that I ran into a little while ago. Okay, that's fine. So so if it's that, then individual victory card scripts J dot vanquish card, and so it's actually similar code. Actually, it's so similar. Huh. In fact, yeah, we might not need any of this. If J is equal to card selection choice, else oh yes, oh beautiful. Individual. Yeah. So over here we're going to have yeah, I'll have it here. We're going to have a public card SO. So, sorry. So now we need to make sure we've got access to the actual scriptable object, the thing that is the card, effectively. So I'm making a quick function here, which is going to be called get card SO. Return. So this is all fine. Okay. Right. So, I think... we're looking good. I think this is all we need. Right. I have done so many things in one go that I am so sure we're going to run into a problem. But I would normally do a good betting game. Right. So we're actually going to do 3. So the reason that changing that number to 3 means this is going to be adding 3 cards to the deck. It's going to be rare that this happens at the end of a boss battle, but let's first of all, let's see if there's any error messages here. I just have a feeling there probably will be, but okay. Alright, none so far. Okay. Right, now we need to I mean we will just go straight into the scene. So scene victory. Right, we've got to make it full screen for this. Right. Yeah, I would say about a 24% chance. That's what I reckon the chances are of us getting this right first time. But so, victory, boom. Gold gain, boom. Okay. Right. Alright, that appeared quite nice. Oh, I've actually done the picture for the dynamic recruit. If it's right, so these are the cards. Ooh, what shall I do? I think I'm just going to pass. Okay, that's okay. That's fine. Alright, now this one time, I think this strategy totem looks good. Let's go add this. Yep, I know why it didn't work. Okay, that's fine. That was a lot better than I thought. That was still really good. What do we need to do? I know what we need to do. We need to have over here. We just need that. And put that over there. Okay, let's give this another shot. Right, let's give this a try. Ooh, right. What one of these cards? So let's try this one. Not 100% ideal. But let's try this one. Don't know why it suddenly clicks to get bigger. You know what? That is all right. That is okay. I'm fine with that. Oh, very big, very important point. Have we actually added the cards to our deck? It looks like we have. They're all there, boys. Right. You know what? This is a... it occurs to me that it's actually a bit later than I've realised, so I probably had better call it here. But this has been actually really, really productive. I think I've been slightly hesitant on the next step because I've been working on the actual gameplay for such a long period of time that I was like, trying to start something completely fresh was a little bit overwhelming, but this has actually been pretty nice. So I'm actually really, really happy now. Anyway, I'm going to start waking my my brother up because he's looking to get to sleep. So I need to probably call it here. But this has been a really, really fantastic stream today. Yeah, thanks so much for sticking about, and I will leave you here. All right, rock and roll. So yeah, we've obviously got a bit more tidying up to do, but this is actually a lot better than I thought. It's really working well. All right, I'll see you guys later.